What did we choose last time? Let's just jump straight to the bottom here. He opened the door to the cafe with the practice of a regular. And there was nothing he could do about having forgotten. Okay, so if we go back to the theater... Okay, yeah, actually, we're just gonna ignore them. Right, that was it. And I think we had hit a bad end or a to be continued or something here, I guess. I don't know, but, yeah, I guess we just weren't able to progress here and had to switch to somebody else. He opened the door to the cafe with the practice of a regular. Welcome! The waitress only got that far before her face fell. You again. Hey, hurry up and get me a seat. She grinned wickedly. I'm terribly sorry, sir, but we're all full at the moment. He looked around. All the seats were indeed filled. As you can see, sir. Really now. The waitress's grin widened with triumph. Although there's an empty chair right off to the left of the screen there. And I know that in some Japanese restaurants, I don't know about all of them, but I know that at least in some of them, they will actually sit you with just random strangers. I don't know. That's like a thing that sometimes happens. Yes, sir. Fine, I'll just write here. Let me get some power. Jamming his power cable into a nearby outlet, Minotikawa plunked himself right down on the floor and booted up his laptop. The waitress watched in dismay, then turned to stare vacantly up at the ceiling. Just do whatever you want, she muttered vaguely. You know, a person can only get away with being obnoxious for so long. Sooner or later, someone's likely to call the police. Minotikawa looked up from his work, startled to see the Burning Hammer salesman standing over him. You're Mr. Yanagashita. Thank you so much for stopping by earlier. Are you gonna write your article here? Yanagashita eyed Minotikawa's computer. Ooh, that's the latest model, isn't it? Look, I got no time to talk right now. Minotikawa opened the file with his half-written copy. Ooh, what's this? Chaos at bogus weight loss drink sales demo. Yanagashita read the copy aloud. The organizer, Junichi Yanagashita, didn't merely have a whiff of deceit about him. His breath also stunk. Sound good? Minotikawa asked. I wanted to make sure I gave an accurate impression. Oh, I love what you've done with it. This is a great copy. Fantastic. And we know in advance what he's gonna do here. Yanagashita turned to look at him with a manic grin. Yeah, isn't it? In a flash, Yanagashita's face went from grinning to livid. Like hell it is. You think I'm just gonna let you write something like that? Snatching up the computer, Yanagashita bolted out of the cafe. Hey, get back here! Minotikawa leapt to his feet and rushed off in pursuit. As he sprinted madly along, Yanagashita turned down a narrow alley. Minotikawa stayed close behind, desperate not to lose sight of him. His quarry began to weave his way through the back alleys of Shibuya. This guy clearly knew his way around town. By Miyashita Park, they zipped up onto a pedestrian bridge. Just where the heck was this idiot going? Halfway across the overpass, Yanagashita suddenly stopped. Confused, Minotikawa stopped as well. Oh god, is he gonna do the thing where he drops it like the other guy? Get that back, he called. The next moment, Yanagashita flashed a mocking grin. and dangled the laptop over the railing. Uh-oh. Minodikawa lunged toward him, but it was already too late. The laptop left Yanagashita's hand and went spinning down through the air. Then, as the two men struggled, Yanagashita himself toppled over the railing. Without hesitating, Minodikawa jumped down as well. Whoa! Quah! Zoinks! Minodikawa landed hard. As he struggled to regain his breath, he looked around and saw Yanagashita beside him. Incredibly, the laptop was safe in the charlatan's grasp. Apparently, he'd somehow managed to catch it in midair. Before Minodikawa could be too relieved, however, Yanagashita got to his feet and took off running again. Get back here, you little weasel! I don't think so. This Yanagashita guy was infuriating. That, and he was really fast. Also, he's bleeding. Minodikawa considered himself a decent runner, but he couldn't manage to gain on Yanagashita. If running away was a competitive sport, the guy would be a world-class superstar. As he ran along, a peculiar thought occurred to him. Hold on a minute. If he hates my copy that much, shouldn't he have wanted my computer to break? Why'd he go out of his way to catch it like that? It made no sense at all. Hey, Minodikawa shouted between gasping breaths. What are you planning to do with my laptop? Sell it, obviously. Yanagashita glanced back at him. Gonna sell it. Sorry about this. What? Minodikawa was taken aback. Consider it compensation for defamation of character. In the civil sense, the act of unlawfully damaging another person's character or reputation in the public eye. In the criminal sense, the act of disseminating damaging facts about an individual to an unspecified large number of people. I know that I think in the US, and possibly Canada, I don't know, and possibly, like, other areas in the West, I think that, how it works is that it's only considered defamation if you're making stuff up. Or no, it's only considered libel if you're making stuff up, and it's only considered defamation if, you're, like, kind of, like, intentionally trying to... You know, I don't know. I don't know what the difference between the two is, but I feel like that probably wouldn't be a crime if you just are spreading negative information about somebody that you know to be true. Like, I don't know. Come on, get real. It can't be defamation if the article hasn't run yet. Then consider an advance on the compensation. This was so nonsensical it made Minodikawa's head hurt. But now at least he knew why Yanagashita had dived after the computer. The thief continued to weave his way through the side streets. His speed didn't diminish in the slightest. Damn it, this guy has too much experience running away. Minodikawa's stamina began to fade, and finally he lost sight of his quarry. That didn't mean he was ready to give up the search. There were articles on that computer that were right on the verge of completion. Whatever it took, he had to get it back. Yanagashita had said he was going to sell it. Where could he be headed then? Probably he was headed to the sales demo venue? No. Probably he was headed to the knick-knack shop? Yes. Probably he was headed to Endo Electronics. That might be worth checking out, but I'm gonna go with the knick-knack shop because I feel like Endo Electronics could cause him to, like, bump into Achi or something. I don't know. We'll see. Let's head to the knick-knack shop. Probably he was headed to the knick-knack shop. Minodikawa recalled seeing one near the Burning Hamo demo site. He also recalled seeing a poster outside the place that read, "We buy computers at top prices." Damn, the guy had led him on a wild goose chase. That shop was surely where he was going to sell the laptop. Gulping a deep breath, he headed in that direction. There you are, Yanagashita. Minodikawa burst into the shop on center guy, an accusing finger pointed squarely at the thief. Listen, there's no way I'm buying a computer that doesn't have a power cable. Details, details. All you sell here is junk anyway. Yanagashita and shopkeeper had gotten into an argument. Minotikawa recognized the shopkeeper. It was the guy he'd run into on the roadside earlier. "That computer belongs to me," Minotikawa shouted as he marched up to them. "Give it back." Yanagashita clutched the laptop to his chest. "Nuh-uh, I need the money." "Knock it off, you're acting like a child." Minotikawa tried to slap him out of his tantrum, but Yanagashita ducked to avoid the blow. And then, bizarrely, Yanagashita froze. A fierce gleam came to his eyes. He broke into incomprehensible stammer. "That's it." Yanagashita snatched up a flyer that his gaze had fixed on. "Iron stomach, huh? This right here is my little bluebird of happiness," he cried. "You know what? You can have this." Yanagashita shoved the laptop into Minotikawa's arms. "Wow. Ha ha ha. And welcome to it, you idiot. I don't need no worthless computer." "You're the idiot, Buster." Minotikawa smacked Yanagashita right across the face. Ouch. Hitting him felt good. He decided to do it again. Minotikawa shoved Yanagashita toward the shopkeeper. "Hand this guy over to the police," he said. No, not the police," Yanagashita pleaded. I feel like they're a little bit busy right now." "Can it, you thief. You try to rip me off and you have no idea how much is riding on my work. You deserve 10,000 deaths. Honestly, you'd think that dying once would be sufficient." 10,000? Isn't that taking things just a little too far? "I'm sorry already, I give up." Finally, the guy was ready to surrender. Minotikawa let his guard down for just a moment. "Like hell I am!" Switching gears in an instant, Yanagashita took off running at full speed. Well, we don't have time for that, so... This again. "Get back here, you bastard!" Minotikawa was already in pursuit. He stuck with Yanagashita as far as Koendori before losing track of him. The guy sure knew how to make a getaway. Breathing hard, Minotikawa stomped and took a look around the area. As he did, he heard a cell phone ringtone from somewhere nearby. It was the new single from the pop singer Aya Kamiki. Wait a second, is Kenji out here as well? Is he also going to have a scene where he views this van blowing up? Could that be Yanagashita's phone? Huh. Could be. Somehow, he struck Minotikawa as the type of guy who'd have a ringtone like that. It seemed worth looking into anyhow. He had nothing else to go on. Minotikawa shifted his gaze around, trying to locate the source of the sound. Suddenly, a massive fiery blast knocked him from his feet. By the time he realized it was an explosion, his senses were already shattered. What just happened? He couldn't see. He couldn't hear. He couldn't move his body. Where am I? For a while, all he could feel was an intense pain, but soon even that faded away. And then, there was only darkness. Oh. Well, hopefully he only lost consciousness. No, he died. Okay. Well, how do we get him away from there, then? I guess we don't find his laptop. So I guess we head to Achi Electronics. And if that doesn't work, we could try heading to the sales demo venue. Let me just check real quick. If we do this, does that interfere with Achi at all? No. Okay. Does that interfere with anybody else? Not that I can tell. Okay, good. It was the only local place he could think of that might buy a second-hand computer. Damn, the guy had led him on a wild goose chase. Minorikawa started running toward Dogenzaka. As he approached the scramble outside the station, he caught sight of a skinny figure disappearing into the throng along center guy. A suit with deep bluish stripes. There was only one man he knew who dressed like that. Why was he heading down center guy and not toward Dogenzaka? Oh, now he remembered. There was a second-hand knick-knack shop near where the Burning Hammer demo had been held. Okay, so this might change the timing a bit. We'll see. That's where Yanagashita was planning on selling his laptop. Changing directions, Minorikawa darted from center guy. There you are, Yanagashita. And are we back on this? Yes, we are back on this. Okay. Let's try the sales demo then. Probably he was headed to the sales demo venue. Maybe he was planning to find some more customers and auction the laptop off to them. Damn, the guy had led him on a wild goose chase. Okay, this is actually the exact same scene. Minorikawa ran along center guy toward the Nokane building where the sales demo had been held. Before he got there, however, a glance to one side stopped him in his tracks. Aha! He chirped. Okay, so let's just wait. Hold on. He had spotted the knick-knack shop where he'd run into Miku about 2 hours earlier. Out in front of it was a poster that read, "We buy computers at top prices." Now he was certain Yanagashita must be in there. Okay, now we're back to the bad end. Okay, so I'm gonna switch back to the original one. Not that it matters, but I will switch back to the original. And then I think the only possible thing we could do here is have Osawa save us somehow. But actually, that's at 1530, and his 1530 is over here, so the only person who could actually save him would be Kano. So I guess we should start Kano's now. I feel like at this point in the story, things are getting a lot more animated. Like, at the beginning, most of the graphics were pretty static, but now it seems like we're hitting the climax and things are... like, all the money's kicking in at this point. Kano practically died from the car when it arrived on the scene in Mariamacho. The place was teeming with officers and onlookers alike. Out of the way! Please move aside, Kano forced his way through the throng. Sasayama was lying in a massive pool of blood. Sasayama! Kano rushed to his partner's side. The knife was still embedded deep in Sasayama's belly. Its handle shuddered each time he drew a labored breath. Guess I messed up. Sasayama could only manage a raspy murmur. Please don't try to talk, Kano. Looks like I won't be celebrating the missus's birthday. Sasayama drew a small package from his pocket. It had been neatly wrapped and fitted with a pretty little ribbon. Here. Give this to Mi-chan for me. Kano shook his head. No way. You can give it to her yourself. You've never met Mi-chan, huh? She's real pretty. Probably surprised. How pretty is she? I know. You've told me all about her. Kano, please. Give this to my wife for me. Mustering up the last of his strength, Sasayama pressed the gift into Kano's hand. Sasayama! Sasayama's hand had dropped back into the puddle of blood. A paramedic team finally arrived at the scene. As Sasayama was loaded into the ambulance, Kano felt a surge of rage roiling inside of him. Clenching his fist so hard his nails dug into his palm, he marched over to the captive Alcarawan. You son of a bitch. He wound up for a punch to Alcarawan's face, only to have his arm caught forcibly by the elbow. Spinning his head around, he found Stanley standing there. Let go of me, Stanley. But the American had a grip of steel, and Kano's arm wouldn't budge. They allow you to assault suspects here in Japan, do they? Kano bit his lip and then lowered his shaking fist. No, of course not, he growled. Alcarawan let out a nasal chuckle as he watched the pair. With a cold glare, Stanley strolled over to him. He leaned in close to whisper something, and all at once the blood drained from Alcarawan's face. Visibly shaken, Alcarawan said something back to Stanley. Stanley gave a slight nod, then left the captive with the police escort. Kano went over to him. Hey, what was that all about? Apparently Alcarawan gave Hitomi some instructions. Told her to get into a blue minivan that was parked along Dogenzaka. So Stanley's hunch had been correct. But why had Alcarawan confessed so quickly? How'd you get him to talk? You don't need to know that. Turning on his heel, Stanley went to report the news about the blue van to the task force. Kuze immediately directed the detectives nearest Dogenzaka to look into it, but they found no blue minivan in the area. I wonder if maybe Alcarawan is actually like an agent who was sent there by the same force who sent Stanley, and all he did was like tell him his agent number or something, and that caused Alcarawan to cooperate. Because it could be that the American government is after the same thing that this gang is after. The order then came down for all personnel to search for the vehicle. Kano thought back to another item in the Dick diary. Dick Dictum, number 14. Use the dead as a stepping stone, but be sure to die a stepping stone yourself. In the abstract, Kano could appreciate the nobility of self-sacrifice, but when he thought of Sasayama's blood-stained figure, it wasn't so easy to keep his emotions in check. First time you've ever seen a fellow officer get hurt? Stanley had come back over to him. We don't have time to relax. If you can't keep your anger in, then do something about it, here and now. Stanley pointed to his own jaw. Hit me, American style. Kano smiled wryly at the unexpected proposal. No thanks, I'll be fine. Hitting the man wasn't going to make Kano feel any better. I'm the one who deserves to get hit. Thinking about Sasayama, Kano couldn't help but feel guilty. How about... No, we're not going to throw a punch, not yet. We'll throw a punch if it turns out that Tateno is innocent. So for now, let's try this. I'm the one who deserves to get hit. Thinking about Sasayama, Kano couldn't help but feel guilty. If I weren't such a bumbling clod, Sasayama would never have. Hey, don't blame yourself, Stanley said. You guys have been doing better than I expected. More sarcasm, huh? Stanley's mouth curled up sheepishly, and he held his hands wide. Kuze's voice suddenly cut in over the wireless. We've located the blue minivan. It's in Jinan, Ichome, on Koendori. Hitomi might be there, and maybe the kidnapper's ringleader would turn up too. On pure reflex, Kana broke into a run. Stanley followed close behind. They sped through the back streets, making their way toward Koendori. Kana was a pretty fast runner, but Stanley kept up with him without apparent difficulty. Were you in the army or something? No, the Marines. United States Marine Corps, a rapid deployment force specializing in amphibious landing operations. All of them are lizard people. Independent branch of the armed forces along the Army, Navy, and Air Force, along with them. The Marines' motto is Semper Fidelis, Latin for always faithful. Huh. I always wondered what Semper Fi meant, but I guess that's what it means. It wasn't much further to Koendori. Kano, if you find that van, don't get too close, Stanley warned. Could be a trap. These people will do anything to carry out their goals. Anything, huh? Kana could sense the truth of Stanley's words. He reminded himself that his life could depend on remembering them. He raised his eyes. They were coming up on Koendori. Crap, we're too late. Suddenly a boom as loud as cannon fire shook the area. Something's wrong, Kana thought. That's no ordinary city noise. A column of black smoke rose up from between the two nearby buildings. Passers-by stomped and stared, gasping in alarm. Then Kana saw flames. This hadn't been an accident. Someone had set off an explosion. The Shibuya precinct wasn't too far from here. Kana recalled that the attempted bioterrorism attack on Kasumi Geseki. 2 years ago, the Tokyo Metropolitan Public Safety Commission obtained intel of an imminent bioterrorist attack within the city. Immediately afterward, an unoccupied minivan exploded outside the Metropolitan Police Department. A device for dispersing a bacterial contagion was discovered at the subway platform at Kasumi Gaseki Station. Having determined that the city bureaucracy was the target, the Japanese government contacted the terrorist organization responsible in secret, making a deal to put an end to the threat. That incident had begun with a van exploding outside of Tokyo MPD Station. Already a large crowd of onlookers was gathering. Shouts rose up as they took in the scene. What's going on? What happened? The car is on fire! Kana called into HQ, then quickly slipped around to the back of the burning vehicle. It was a minivan. Peering at the flaming chassis, he could see that there was someone inside. Oh no. Could that be Hitomi? Once they had had their hands on the antiviral, the criminals would have no further use for Hitomi Osawa. Already the body had been charred to ash. At this point it was hardly recognizable as human anymore. Okay. Who is this jump to? Hold on. Looking for Miku. Okay. Well, that changes everything. That gives us kind of a hint as to what should be going on here. So, I guess he actually should go back and tell them. Yeah, that's the only the only option. So next time we're going to do this. So until then, take care, and I will see you then.